Our next guest joined us to talk about some of the best amplifiers for motorcycle audio as well as cars. Joining us now, the national sales manager, the international sales manager, as you're looking camera left to right, for SounDigital and Ground Zero is Mauricio Farias. Hello, Mauricio.
Yes. Hello, guys. How are you doing?
Welcome into Tomorrow.
Thank
and
you.
The national sales manager for the same company, SounDigital and Ground
How you
Zero,
doing?
is Mike Ventura. Mike, welcome into Tomorrow.
Thank you.
as well.
Glad to be here.
Tell me a little bit about the company, or the two companies, as it were, because your staff shirts say both SounDigital and Ground Zero, and that one says German Engineering.
Correct. So SounDigital is a Brazilian company. We manufacture all of our amplifiers in Brazil. We are distributing the product in the U.S. and over 40 countries currently.
Cool.
Ground Zero is kind of a complement to SounDigital with speakers and subwoofers, and competition and sound quality type of speakers.
Oh, very cool.
So they kind of meet each other in the middle.
Yeah. And being the international sales manager, obviously you're involved with all of these countries and really kind of, I guess, merging these technologies in many ways, right?
Yeah, that's very nice because actually I worked first only for SounDigital, and we met the guys from Ground Zero, in Austria about 3 years ago, and then we made good friendship with them. So when we started distributing it in the US, they asked us to do the distribution for them as well. So we're joining the German engineering with the Brazilian handwork, and we're doing something really nice to bring more technology to people.
Gotcha. Now, in the intro, I said something about some of the best amplifiers for motorcycles, among other things, among vehicles, cars, trucks, what have you. And I'm figuring I got listeners in my head saying, motorcycles, why do they need an amplifier? First, how are you going to hear it anyway? You're on a loud motorcycle. But is that an issue as to why you're doing some unique amplifiers for bikes?
Actually, they kind of find us, right?
Yeah.
We didn't go after them.
The
They found
bikers
us.
said, we need this.
Yes.
Yeah. Because
That's an even better reason to have a cool product.
Yeah.
if you said 5 years ago to anyone that you put 1,000 watts in a bike, they would say you're crazy.
Yeah.
But nowadays, these guys are building bikes with 10,000 watts in the bike.
I think we hear a couple of them in the background.
Yeah, that's
The biggest challenge is for them, not for us, because they have to find space to do the enclosures and everything to make the bike sound good and still have the bass.
And not only that, current draw is a problem on
Yeah.
amplifiers in motorcycles. One of the things that we're known for beyond our small footprint is the low current draw that our amplifiers use.
Good point, because they use a much smaller battery
Oh, yeah.
Correct.
in a motorcycle than a car. So
Correct.
if you got any kind of draw, it's taken away valuable power.
Yep.
Exactly.
So you've had to engineer it to make sure that your amps aren't drawing too much power from that smaller battery.
Yeah, well, they were already engineered that way, and that's why the
good.
bike world kind of found us. It was a market we kind of stumbled on, and since then we've just been growing and growing in that market share.
So I would have thought most bikers would just be using headsets, or
Some
in their
do.
helmet, the little
Yeah.
speakers in the helmet. But then, as you guys are alluding to earlier, others want much more sound. They want a rich sound. Maybe they want the neighborhood to hear it as they're
Oh,
going
they
down.
do.
Oh, they do, yes.
There's no maybe about it, right?
No.
Yeah.
Maybe us neighbors don't want to, but hey, you got a nice bike and interesting tunes.
Yeah.
And it's very nice because usually people ride their bikes when it's the summer or spring. It's hotter, it's warmer. So as we do in the cars, we like to open our doors sometimes when we have friends during summer, listen to music outside,
Sure.
having our buds and stuff like that. So they want to do the same, with their bikes. Good
Gotcha.
weather, good music, good beer.
Yeah, of course.
Not riding, please.
No, not while you're riding.
Not while you're
no,
riding,
no drinking and riding or drinking and driving. Would this be, for example, one of the those listening on the radio? We have video of all the interviews here in Dallas, so hit us up at intotomorrow.com. Check all of this out, and you'll see what the guys brought to show. Is this a speaker for a bike?
It can be used in a bike. Most guys will put this into a saddlebag with
Wow. I mean,
custom
this is
fiberglass.
huge and heavy,
yeah,
too,
it
of
is.
course.
It handles some power. Really great bass response. This is just one of the many different offerings that we have for Ground Zero. This is a 6.5. We have an 8, a 10, a 12, a 15, and even a 33-inch subwoofer.
that would go or potentially on a bike? Maybe not
for
so
a
much
bike,
that one.
but
Maybe in a sidecar.
There you go.
maybe the only thing in the sidecar. But yes,
You wouldn't be able to have a passenger, but you'd have a heck of a speaker.
yes.
But perhaps for a Ford F-150 or something.
Correct.
Or,
Under the seat, you can use
Yeah.
something like this, or
Under the seat, so
Yeah.
you're really feeling your music with
Yes.
something like this, right?
Right.
Tell me about the other items that you have.
So these are really unique to the marketplace. These are actually drop-in solutions for Mercedes-Benz, most new Mercedes. So if you ever wanted to change your system in a Mercedes, if you went to your local independent retailer professional, they would most likely tell you that they've got to do a lot of fabrication in a Mercedes. For instance, an SL550. This actually comes with the bracket and also the factory plug that allows you to remove the factory speakers and then drop in a solution like this.
Which is
to
great for
replace.
installers. They're not having to totally remodel the interior of the vehicle.
Correct.
Many do anyway because of custom installs, but that's got to make life a lot easier.
Yeah, and these are, like I said, they're specific to Mercedes, most new Mercedes.
Okay.
So they're designed to drop into the factory locations. There aren't a lot of solutions from Mercedes currently in the marketplace. We're from what I know now, one of two vendors offering this. And while it's a small niche market, most guys who run independent stores are looking to maximize their efficiencies in the shop. And this is just one way that you could do that with these vehicles.
And I'm assuming that there is a marked difference in the quality from
Absolutely.
the factory speakers to upgrading to something like this.
Correct.
I mean, folks will absolutely know it and say, money well spent. Huh?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Terrific. And what is this?
That's actually one of the tweeters that go inside the factory location of the Mercedes.
Little tiny thing that's about, half a dollar size, I guess, if you can think of it that way, and half an inch tall. And this is a tweeter.
Correct.
Okay. Not for use in social media, not a Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
But a tweeter. I figure I got to sort that out for some of the audience that go, what? I'm on Twitter. No. This is a tweeter that we will tweet about on Twitter. You
Yes.
get it?
Oh, yeah.
You see? So do stay tuned for that.
So this reproduces the high frequencies and the
Sure.
sound. So sound's really basically three different frequencies. You have highs, mids, and lows. This reproduces the highs.
Gotcha. And the lows are the things we hear going down the street in the neighborhood.
Correct.
Yeah.
And in
Shaking
the
the
background
building right now.
as we
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah.
And of course, we knew coming out here, we're broadcasting from a Mobile Electronics Association convention. Obviously, we say, well, don't put us right near somebody who's doing anything loud. And they went,
Well,
okay.
it's going to be kind of impossible.
Yeah, we won't put you right next to somebody doing anything loud, but it doesn't matter. You can be in the hall down the block, and you're still going to hear it. But that's what mobile electronics is all about.
Thanks God.
Yes, for you guys especially, right? And for all these dealers around the world, too, that are able to be doing some really unique things. Real quick, this new amplifier, I understand the size of a smartphone, maybe, right?
Yeah. So we're not showing it in this interview, but
They're just teasing us, folks.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
a tease, but
tease.
we'll tell you how to see it when it's available. Go ahead.
it's about half the size of our current amplifiers. So if you can imagine like an iPhone 10.
Okay.
In width, not so much in height. It's going to be a little bit taller, but in width and length, that puts out 1,200 watts.
1,200 watts, yes.
Whoa.
4 channels of 300.
So half the size and a lot more power.
Yes.
Isn't that amazing what technology can do for us, right?
We have a crew of 17 engineers working at SounDigital just to develop these new technologies. And people would think that making them smaller would probably take some of the quality, but it's quite the
quite the
opposite.
reverse, yeah.
Yes, because we developed a new technology that puts out the heat 3 times more efficiently. So you don't need a big heat sink.
Gotcha.
And by removing some of the parts that would dissipate this heat, we could put more capacitors inside, so it's going to sustain the low for even longer. You're going to feel it better. So that's really something that is going to make some noise in the industry.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
In every sense of the word.
Yeah.
Make some noise. Right?
But not noise, distortion. Noise like
not
loud
distortion,
music.
right. Loud music that you can hear down the street. Can you tell I'm one of those, get off my lawn?
Yeah.
But hey, I also appreciate the fact that for 24 years we cover consumer tech, and this is a major important part of that.
It is.
And
It
you
is.
guys, kudos for doing the unique things you're doing and all the engineers that you have working on cool products. whether it be for motorcycles or cars or trucks or sidecars or whatever. Boats. Yeah, don't forget the boats. We got one right down the aisle here.
Yep.
That for some reason they wouldn't bring it over for the broadcast.
No.
I don't know why.
I can't understand that.
Yeah, exactly. Just motorboat the thing on over and we'll talk about it. But thank you guys. You want more information? SounDigitalUSA.com. And of course, we'll get you there as well when you hit us up at intotomorrow.com. So Mike and Mauricio, thanks for spending a few minutes with us.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
And continue
Thanks
good
so
luck
much,
here
Dave.
at KnowledgeFest, because a lot of people are looking understandably and listening to what you've got.
Thank you, man.
Thank you very much.
It's our pleasure. And we'll be back with more from Dallas, Texas. I'm Dave Graveline right here on the Advanced Media Network. Don't go away.